who put the word fund in funding, because it's always an issue. This is another area that we need to explore. We spoke about marketing, we spoke about tying up with other industries, we talk about sponsors and partners and stakeholders. Funding is one thing, getting the funds is one thing, and using the funds correctly is another thing. The geography, location of Goa within India itself. Okay, we are not one of the central states, so again, these are the factors that you need to consider. Traveling time, economic development, human resources, training for the experts. We bring in foreign experts, we bring external experts, but at the same time, you have to build your own homegrown heroes, as the slogan says. So eventually, there must be a succession plan. So we look at the relationship between AFC, AIFF, and Goa FA in this whole process of talent development. We don't have the answers. You have to think about what is applicable for you, what is relevant for you, tailor-make them, adapt them, okay? So, for AFC, we have the Financial Aid Program, or AFE. AFAP, previously it was called the 827 Program, where we disburse an X amount of money to our member association, who will decide on how to use it. This money can be used for training and development purposes, in instructors and coaches education, referees development. So we also provide training and development in terms of courses in these areas. We have competition and events management, people who can come to India and deliver all this training, administration, marketing, sports medicine. So these are support services available to Goa FA through AIFF. If you can look at the picture, actually one of your coaches is there, Savio, who has attended our pro diploma course many years ago. And club licensing is also another area where indirectly it has an impact on talent development, youth development, because one of the criteria in club licensing is that all clubs should have youth teams within their club structure. So I think there will be an impetus for clubs to also invest their money in youth development. And another program called Kickoff, where member associations can request certain programs in order of their priority, their preference to AFC to deliver. So these are the support structures in place in AFC, which can be exploited by Goa FA through AIFF to develop talent and any other areas that you see here. Of course, beyond AFC, you have FIFA, who also have the financial aid program, who distributes 250,000 every year USD to all member associations. But in the case of India, it will be very difficult to spend this money in such a big country because the amount will be very diluted. And also, again, in these key areas of training and development, FIFA will also provide support. So for Goa, my question to all the stakeholders, the decision makers, partners, and even the Goa FA, do we adopt or adapt? I think the answer is very obvious. We have to learn to adapt, given all the information overload that we have received yesterday and today. We will need to adapt or die. It's nature's law. Okay? And at the same time, again, we have to be unique. India is so diverse that a person from Manipur doesn't look the same as a person from Chennai or from Goa. So India is very diverse. And it has to be unique. We cannot say this is the model, we multiply it across all the states in India. So people in Goa will know what you need to adopt and what you need to adapt so that you will be successful. Yet, you have to be unified, aligned to what AIFF is trying to build through their programs. They have long-term programs in place, short-term programs for the national team, for the youth team. So you have to align your program to that. We cannot be going in multi-directions, in different directions. Okay? It was presented by Scott yesterday what they are trying to do. So it's also very important that the national team achieves success while we are doing our work at the state level, at the province level with youth development, with coach education. It's also very important that national teams achieve success to revive the industry or to inject a lot of things into the football industry with the success of national teams. We heard yesterday how South Africa benefited through their hosting of events. I mentioned earlier the Japanese women's team won the World Cup, and there was a tremendous injection of money, funding, endorsement for the players. All the girls who were playing overseas came back to Japan. They're getting professional contracts in Japan. Media is interested. Even the FA was forced now to fly the girls by business class. So success brings success. So again, the key word here is still to remain unified for the sake of Indian football. So on that note, I would like to say thank you very much, and I will hand over now to Mr. Anand for the floor to you.
Thank you, Mr. Bashir. A lot of points that you've mentioned, best way to play or something else, the Spanish way, shouldn't teams be able to play different systems according to the situation? I mean, Barcelona against Chelsea last year was an example that Barcelona wasn't able to change its style, and that's why most probably they lost. A technical question, of course, yes, to start off with.
Okay, again, to compare, it's like comparing apples and oranges, club level versus national level. But we have to be unified because we have to develop a style of play that's suitable for India based on what we have at the moment and our strengths and weaknesses. Now, it is very crucial that we identify, we create a philosophy, a style of play, so that we can go in one direction. And India has its issues because we are very diversified. Compare that again to Japan. They are homogeneous, same physiology and trophy. So it's very easy for them. One language. So again, the challenge for India is to come up with one model and believe in that and work on that. You had a British coach the last few years. Now we are bringing in the Dutch model, right? So I hope that this can be sustained, this can be supported, so that you bear the fruits which might take 5, 10 years. I'll bring another example of Australia. The last 10 years, they worked with the Dutch model. I was lucky to see, I had an opportunity to watch the Australian under-19 team last year when they were playing in the AFC Championships. And it doesn't look like the Australian team anymore. We know the Australian team as the team who plays direct physical football, but it was a completely different team. So my opinion is, if you believe in one model, you have to look at one model and work towards that model, give it time, then it will bear success. It will bear the results that you want. Along the way, you will lose. You might start to reconsider, oh, maybe is this a wrong model? Maybe we should look at this model again. So this, I think, we need a bit of patience, but a lot of time, process.
How important is that talent development? How important is it for Indian football that the state associations, we heard it from Scott yesterday, the difficulties that the AFF seems to face, that the state associations work together with the National Federation to develop our talent and make India a better footballing nation?
Well, first of all, we need to understand. Actually, it was a very good presentation from Bashir. Thank you very much, Bashir. We need to understand in our system whether we need to build or whether we need to buy players. Today's philosophy in the clubs are they want to buy players. That's why the players' salaries are something that everybody is discussing about. If we need to build players, we need to go with the system. The AIFF has thought about regional academies. At the states also, we need to have regional, because if you're talking about Mizoram or Manipur or Goa, which is 1 million, 1.5 million population, and when you talk about Maharashtra, 120 million people in Maharashtra, we're talking about 21.5 million kids between the age group of 6 to 17. Logistics, 1,400 kilometers, 35 affiliate district association. It's like a country by itself. It's very important to understand the development needs a lot of revenues, funding, and everything that is mentioned in Bashir's presentation is required for the system. But here we have to first identify that we want to build. If you have to build, who's going to take them? If there is a clarity that yes, if I'm going to build players and I've got 2 players to go into the national team, then there's a meaning of making things happen. But if you look at the SAG or the SAI, the programs are there all over the country, but where are the players coming out from? They're not coming out from this system. They're coming out from raw talents right now. Like we need to build players, we need to have a proper curriculum which goes down to the school levels. Our system is so unique, like he says, is that they don't want changes. In our school programs, we have 8 years, 10 years, 12 years kids playing 11 aside, where we've now impressed upon AIFF to say that let's have them sorted out to bring them 7 aside so that the interest develops. The first important part is to bring out the interest in the kids, the parents. Today we see some money flowing into football. That's fantastic. That's happening over the past 5 to 6 years. Players are earning as much as the Ranji Trophy cricket players. So, or maybe more than that. And the people coming out from the stadiums are more than the domestic cricket. Looking at all these aspects, we have to design a clarity in our system where we say that here is a ladder. Because a parent and a kid, when they come onto the ground, the kid is so enthusiastic. So he goes inside and plays. And there's a big question mark on the parent saying, what is he going to do after playing this? Where is the ladder? And that ladder is what we all need to sit and develop.